Today we have 19 audience. Can we get started or wait for a minute? Thanks everyone for joining. We'll just give a minute.
You can get started, Maithili. Recording has started.
So good evening, good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining this session. So in this session, the entire 45 minutes, basically, I'm just splitting it 45 minutes. We are going to talk about Power BI embedded in Azure. And then the last 15 minutes, I'll take up a questions. And meanwhile, right, whenever you have any questions, just keep like a post it in the chat. We can go one by end of this session. Yeah, having said that, the first one, Power BI embedded. Everybody know what is Power BI from morning. Like you are all hearing this Power BI.
Sorry, Maithili, are you sharing a screen? I'm not able to see anything actually.
Let me share again, Vijay.
Yeah, sure.
You're able to see now?
Yeah, good. Yeah, good to go.
Now?
Yeah, good to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Okay, sorry for that. Okay, this is like a new embedded Power BI, the report server came and we had a Power BI desktop version, and then we have Tableau. The market in the market it is up and running, and then later Power BI Pro and Power BI Business Plan, everything it came up. So what is this Power BI embedded? Why Microsoft added that feature as part of the Azure? So that's the thing mainly we are going to discuss about it. So for three part I'm dividing into it. The first one, what is Power BI? Just overview of it. I'm not deep diving into it. Then the embedded concept. Then Azure service, how it is there. Okay, so having said that, I'm Maithili. I'm Azure and SharePoint, Office 365. It's my core area. I'm working almost 15 years into it. I'm from DC. And just started learning my careers technology wise, right? Power Platform, Teams, and everything. I recently started learning on that. So I do organize and speak to a few couple of groups in DC, Jersey, and New York based out of it. And this is the one. And recently I started blogging and writing, organizing and speaking into that community. And apart from this tech things, I my passion is like I'll be writing poem and small stories. So this is about me. And let's get started. Okay, so Power BI embedded in Azure. Okay, first one. So how you will empower your organization. So organization has like so many data. It's like, for example, the organization which I work is like a BFS organization, which is like almost like 50-60 years of data is there in that company. It has like more data, and we need to give a insights of the data. For example, like the projects, right? These people like they are lending loans to transports and road transport and banking domains and so many other things. So already the project was up and running in so many places, so many different areas it's happening, running it. They have all those documents. If a new person comes and starts a project or something, he won't be having like a complete idea and everything, right? So, but the bank has that entire information stores to decide it like which area that management can focus more. So that decision making, right? That decision making only will empower that management and the future of the company, right? That's where our BI analytics, business analytics things are coming up with, and more with Power BI and Azure. So both the combinations, right? You have machine learning and AI inbuilt. So rather like in the earlier days, like we will be storing data in the SQL, we will write up SAS and reporting models, we will run it. There won't be any intelligence out of it, right? So here we are having like inbuilt component with AI. So that's the main advantage. So we can give like overall insights to the management, which will helpful to them to take any decisions and focus and future focus and everything. So that's where this feature of power platform Power BI comes into a place. And mainly this topic is targeting on pro users and admin, how they can plan the licenses and they can do it, and the core developers, because embed feature, it's not like embedding, we will get embed code and embed into any portal or something. So we are like to like improve the capacity and the license cost, the developers has to like we need to invest on like a development has to be done like REST API, .NET Code, .NET Core, Python, any languages. Like so we need to Power BI embedded is coming up with the REST API where we'll be like calling the API, writing the codes and publishing the dashboards. So that's where like core developers and citizen developers, I mean like you have like a citizen developers also, they can do up to some level. They can go and like step by step they have all the boxes can navigational things, right? They can put and they can import the Excel. Basically this came from Excel, right? So they can import the Excel similar like Excel report, they can start doing it and they can generate the report. Once the report is ready, they can pick it up, embed and put it into anywhere. So that's why like all three users can target on this one. If you're looking for a future in the Power Platform, Power BI is one of the greatest things. So that's where like I'm just going to talk about the agenda. First one is like a latest news on this Power BI. By the way we speak, right? Microsoft announced like a Garnier report announced February 18th that about this Power BI, which we are going to see what it is and the top reasons why we need to use Power BI when we have other reporting tools in the market. And I want to give a what is Power BI and journey. Probably like if you go and Google it, you will be getting all the details. But I just want to touch upon the introduction, like Power BI and the journey, how it started and how it what all offering it has. And then we are coming to the core topic, Power BI embedded, and what are the two different types of embeds are available. And the detail we are going to discuss about with hands-on and demo, embedded for organization customer part we are going to deep dive into it in our demo session. So once all this done, you know like the cost of Power BI, right? So that's there like a capacity we are going to discuss about it. So what are the different licensing costing is there and why capacity came in picture, why and it's playing a major role with Azure. And the last one is like I would like to talk about the use cases and we can recap the session. This is a fast like I just want to give you that when I was like going through it, I was referred like I was looking for 2020 report. Suddenly it's popped up like a 2021 report came from Gartner. So like top 3 years, even though Microsoft it is like they're in 14 years consecutively they are playing the leader role in Garnier report. You know about Garner, right? So they are the one like it's like a intelligence and team all over the world. They will like rate the application, all the applications like intranet or whatever. So in this analytics BI and analytics one, our Microsoft is there for almost 14 years. And up to 2017, Tableau was the toppest one. From like 2007, as soon as the PBI came in picture and embedded and everything, they released it, right? Power Platform, they have changed a little bit, which we are going to see that. So after that, our Power Platform, Power BI got like highlighted. And last 3 years, Microsoft is like top in the coordinate, if you can see that. And one more thing, like Power BI, right? It's like a data point. I just started it. You will be finding in the data as well. Like how many organizations been it helped, and how much percentage they are like deep diving into their data culture, and what are the major customers they are like in standardizing using the Power BI. And having said that, like even my company where I'm working as a consultant, right? They are also they have like 20 years they were into Tableau. So like it's a hard switch for them, but they are like thinking and switching towards Power BI, where like we explored, did a POC and released to a couple of teams, and it reached very well, where like pro users can go ahead and create their dashboards, right? Tableau is not that case actually. It was supporting it, not like the Power BI you access to like Microsoft interface, right? End user driven interfaces. So they are like they started generating the team internal teams reports, whatever usages, statistics, everything. Yeah, this is the latest news on the PBI. I just want to touch upon before getting into it. And why like Power BI? Why like all the users are last 3 years? I said right. Last 3 years, users are picking up Power BI. What would be the reasons for that? The main thing, Power BI insights, and especially like Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Teams, and with the Power BI is going to be the great combinations combo actually. And even the Garnier, and again I announced by end of 2021, it's going to generate $25 trillion benefit revenue in this area. That's what they predicted. So all these three combinations are like you can embed the Power BI into Teams. The combinations comes up with, and if you have Office 365, Excel, and Power BI, you can create wonderful dashboards for the organizations. And with the teams, these teams being like it's getting like a due to the pandemic, everybody like teams are getting more popular, right? And small companies and all, they like started their internet starting point as a teams. So with all this combination, the next one is like one more thing, the data, Power BI data, it can be in on-prem or it can be in the cloud. That's the main advantage. We like hundreds of data sources you can connect, and Power Query you might be knowing it. So the data connector, like you can have your data SQL on-prem. Okay, and you can use using the connector, you can connect it, and the reporting server you can keep it in on-premises. And if you like the sources, you can consume Azure SQL, Cosmo DB, Data Lakes, whatever the cloud storage services, right? You can connect everything. So like one product supports like both a hybrid environment. So data can be anywhere, even in the Excel, right? Even you can upload the Excel and you can start working with that. And the quick intelligence and more, they are like keep changing it, right? Power BI and this Synapses Analytics, mainly they came up with the data lakes actually, where they're like huge data set. So Microsoft is keep working with machine learning and AI, and they are improving their engine in the back end. We won't be like we will be just leveraging on the go. And the next one is like Microsoft Power Platform. You see like how the low code, no code. So you have been keep hearing that term, and it is like we will be getting more insight on that without any coding, how we are leveraging and everything. And the next is like data loss prevention. Is completely like Microsoft is taking care of it with the cloud app security and information protection. We don't need to worry about anything, right? So that's the main advantage. Few customers are like relaying. They don't need to like maintain admin, shouldn't have like monitoring, logging. So everything backup and restore everything. And main thing that they are the industry leading AI now. So all those like algorithms, whatever they are tuning in the backend, they are getting use of it. So that's the main thing. And more like a classic mobile experience. You don't need to write any like specific native apps for this, right? It supports, it has a desktop version, mobile app, as well as like a support on-prem and cloud and everything. So best in class, and it has like a cloud maturity. And we know that Azure is like proven like maturity, cloud maturity level. And features are keep releasing. They're releasing a new features, right? Like the embed, they added like capacity. They are looking into the trend market, and they are keep improving their framework, and we are getting it as is without doing update patch or anything it, right? And it is like economics drip. But this one we will like discuss more on the capacity thing, how they came up, like they reduced the cost and everything. So this is the main reason like all the industries like they're looking into it, like Power BI. And as I said, like the industry which I'm working, it has like 30,000 plus users. They are switching from Tableau to Power BI. You might be knowing it, why outcome the management took a decision. So these are all the factors they considered, and they are switching towards the Power BI. So the next, it might be repeating to you, but I cannot say what it is, right, before getting into the embedded. So what is Power BI? Yeah, BI, business intelligence, like business analytics solutions. So so data, like we have so many of data, so much of data we might be having, for example, a sales reports or inventory reports or anything. For example, in our cases, discussion case, I'm just stating it like, if we have like some 2,000, 3,000 sites in the company, I'll start with the statistic analytics one. So like multiple units will be there, right? Multiple department will be there. You'll be having a multiple team sites or something. So we have a app inside, assuming that the organization having like Azure AD integrated and Azure thing cloud platform integrated. So all those analytics are like keep the tracking in our app insights. Okay, so to give a clear picture to the user, for example, I'm taking HR or R&D or finance. So they know the sites are used by entire organizations. Okay, just in case like the same data we have, the usage statistics, we have it in the app insights. We don't need to do anything. Already data is there. If we create a small dashboard, like how many people are using their site for a day, which pages like frequently using, like people are like navigating and checking it, right? So the small like visual like representation of the site usage will like give them good direction. even the content query authors, publishers, and even the team managements, right? They will know like what people are intended, right? That's where like everybody wanted to like give the data whatever the user wanted. So that's where like the visualization and bringing the data insights into visual things, reports, right? It's more helpful and more like Power BI. You can drill down like that's a very good drill down features we have, right? So that's where like Power BI came up. It's like a wonderful business analytics solution, but it is not a new. We add earlier, which we are going to see. It started from Excel, Power Pivot, and then how it came to a SharePoint, then how finally it came to a Power BI. We are going to see that earlier product, which is not new. And as I earlier meant, right, you can connect like hundreds of data sources. So, and one more main thing is like it's a live dashboards. You need to go and refresh or something, or it will take some 30 minutes. Once you update the data, it will take some 15 to 30 minutes to reflect in the dashboards. It's not the case no more. It's like a live data dashboards. So as soon as you update the data, you can see the dashboard updated. So that's, and more it is like a SaaS product. So all collection of software products been like collated and we are getting it as a service. So that's the main thing. So Power BI versions, if you see like we have like six things, right? One is like a Power BI desktop, Power BI mobile, and then Power BI Pro, Power BI Premium, Power BI embedded, a report server. Report server, you can keep it in on-prem or like cloud. So I'm just dividing into two: free service, Power BI desktop, and Power BI mobile is a free service. You can install, it's like all your organization Office 365 users, they can leverage this free services. So they can install the Power BI desktop and start creating the reports. Power BI Pro, Power BI Premium, Embedded reporting server is similar like whatever we had in on-prem concept. So that we are not going to discuss more. It's the existing one. It can be on-prem or we can bring that, and futuristically we can bring that into a cloud. So all other three, what it is and what's the difference, what's the different version, probably you might be knowing it, like license and cost and few services, like dividing that into three: Power BI Pro and Power BI Premium and Power BI Embedded and desktop version. And like desktop versions mainly for our mainly Windows applications. You can use that for Windows applications, or you can create a report and publish it for the cloud applications. So creation part still you can continue in the Power BI desktop. Okay, so that history, which is what it is, the history in 2006. It's like started like if you go and search this in Wikipedia, you will get some different set, but that realistic is like initial one in 2006, the project Gemini, that was the first one from the SQL SaaS service, right? They took it, and it was like available in the memory engine. That's called like a project Gemini. It was like available in the heap memory itself. So that's to reduce that data losses and something. They kept it in the heap, and we can leverage those SaaS services there. So SaaS services and the plus heap memory, little bit like a reporting structure. It came in as a product of Project Gemini, but it was not like just started. And then that we might be knowing this one. It been renamed as a Power Pivot. Power Pivot, it's not a separate product. It was like an add-in to Excel. So your Power Pivot came up with Excel in 2009. So this is where like Power Pivot started, like Excel, the teams like started using the Power Pivot. They started reporting the reports and everything in 2009. And that reporting was getting very good market, right? Then 2012 Power View, that's where like the SharePoint picked up the component. They introduced the component to a SharePoint. It's like a performance dashboards and performance reports or everything came. So with the SharePoint, like organizations like started building the dashboards and everything. Still, it was relying on the SQL, SAS, those cubes, data cubes, and everything. 2013, it been like renamed as a Power Query. Still, we have a Power Query as one of the feature in that. And 2015, it's been announced. Microsoft worked on that and announced like a Power BI service. That's what which we discussed. It's like it's a SaaS service. From 2015, it became like a Power BI on-prem and cloud supporting services started. As Power BI as a separate desktop, as you saw in the last slide. Pro. And from 17, so all these components came. Power BI report server, Power BI embedded, and the recently we got like capacity also been added to that. So this is how the journey of the Power BI started. Okay, then the next, so what it is offering, what and all, we saw the smaller icons, right? So what it is offering, the first one, I'm just dividing into four as the slide, right? I'm dividing into four: desktop, pro, premium, embedded. Embedded one is the target for today, but still we can discuss about the desktop, pro, and premium, and I'll be walking you through that links as well. So this Power BI desktop one, desktop version, you can like download it, and it's like a user per user licensed one. That's what I said, like Office 365 users, whomever like your organizations will be issuing like for Office 365, right, for Outlook and everything. So all O365 licensed users are like they can use the PBI desktop version. It's free, and it's like a free reporting authoring, and it's to start with, right? It's like a free report you can author, and you can create ad hoc reports and everything. It didn't have like complete enriched reports, but it was like Excel. You can go and play around, you can generate the reports. And the next one, adding few self-service analytics, a few features they added to collaborate and collaborate between the teams and something. Few additional features they added, and they introduced as PBI Pro. This is also as licensed for a user. It's like a 9.99 for user. Again, per user specific, they'll be assigning it. If you need a PBI Pro, like our 365 license plus 9.99, you need to pay for a user. And then the PBI premium one. So like, for example, an institution is having, for example, like the current institution where I'm working, right? If the 30,000 people, even though 1/3 I'm just leaving it, 10,000 people are like day-to-day activities involved with the reporting things, right? You just think about that cost, okay, into 9.99 or is it $10? And that was like for users model. Other one, the PBI premium, it's like a higher end. It's like capacity based, higher end, like a fixed amount. Monthly, you need to pay this much, but based on the capacity. So what is capacity, which we can see in detail, because capacity has involves like so many factors. So based on the capacity, the license was there. It has like a large scale. It started supporting a large scale for like a for month, actually for month 4,000, nearly $5,000 PBI premium, $4,885 or something. And that's the lowest capacity. If you like increase it, it will be more. So this is like a PBM premium one, and the next one is like a PBA embedded. PBA embedded, again, you should have like PBA. It's also based on capacity. Then you can ask like why it is like same, right? PBA premium was supporting the same thing, and the PBA embedded also is saying like licensed by capacity. But one advantage is here, PBA embedded can be built based on one PBA premium account. That means like if you have one user with a PBA premium account, using that account, key account, you can build the reports and you can embed into any of your applications. So all other users are like, they'll be translating the master user who's like, who have assigned a license, whatever the access level you are giving to that key user. So all the other people, whomever using your applications, right, they're going to have the similar view, single view actually. So it's like fully interactive reports again and visuals, and you can, without assigning the license to the user, you can export, you can like publish the reports. So only one user license. So that's the main advantage of this embedded thing. If you have any questions on this, like start putting it in the chat, we can see one by one. Okay, then the next one is like Power BI was a SaaS product, and Power BI embedded, it is like a PaaS. Okay, so because we are having a REST API, we are going to see that in a detail. So it came up like a platform as services. So you have to build it, right? Power BI embedded mainly came with like you'll be using a one user, one AD, like a Azure AD user, and with that user you're connecting a Power BI premium, Power BI products, and you're creating an embed, and then you'll be inserting into your applications. Okay, so it's embedded, it's a PaaS service. And the next one, like, for example, how this came up, right? Like, if you have like your company, like it's like interacting with other companies outside of your organization, like other company people also like involved. For example, a company where the auditors will be like externals or the investors will be from the externals, right? So in that scenario, we need to expose the similar report, whatever we are building it for the organizations, right? It can be the similar or different actually. So we need to build a report on a daily basis or something. You need like a databases based on the data changes, right? You need to build something. For example, that what is it like investors, right? Investors, they want to see the dividends and everything, or like auditors, right? Auditors, like what's the things they are auditing it and what's happening internally and what the level they have to involve, like that. Or a sales report you want to like export to the outside organization, you are like investors, so those kind of thing, right? You can build it. But the thing was like when if you have a O365 license, you can like invite them as your guest user, but still you need to assign the license to them to like access everything, right? So that's where like the challenge was there. Like if you need to expose your reports to somebody, you need to assign the license to them. So that dependency got reduced in this, like so that we can create a report. I can embed into our custom application. Here, application owns the data, not the user. So application interacts with the data, nowhere like user connected to the data. So you are building the embed and putting into your applications. So external people are like accessing your applications. So it's very safe as well, right? So it's a single view for everybody. That's why like it's a single view. So it's an ISO, individual software vendors and developer and developers also. When you want to develop something, you can develop it through either for a customers or organizations. You can start developing in this, and you can add analytics and visuals to your applications, and you can distribute without requiring per user licensing. That's like a main advantage of this embedded thing. Unless it's going to be like a very good, it's going to have a very good future itself. And next is like having said like Power BI, so then they have to expose the API to access the dashboards, workspace reports, right? So they have given the API services in May 2017. So they introduced the APIs also into Power BI, and October 2017 it came up with the capacity based on the SQS, right? Capacity they introduced in October 2017. So initially it was like one capacity, then later on they introduced so many capacities. Okay, you can take a call. So this one like you can embed your content, right? And all the like Power BI dashboards, whatever you're seeing it, right? You can embed a dashboard, you can embed the gateways, you can embed the workspace, data set you can access, or specific report you want to give access to them, you can do that. So that level like you can leverage. Okay. And the next one, that's like a general about Power BI embedded. The flow. So how we will be starting the Power BI, right? But still, Power BI embedded is the feature or component which supports like enhancing that integrating the report to the ISVs or customer organizations. But the flow still it's the same. So you can use a Power BI desktop version and you can create all the reports whatever that you wanted. You develop it. For development we need one license, $9.99. I just mentioned it's $10 here. For the developer we should have one Power BI Pro account. So where we are developing it and then we are deploying it. So after deployment, as an average, I took like capacity minimal one A1. So it starts like for $1 per hour every 1 hour. So before getting into before start developing it, right, we need these two things as a mandatory one. One is like a development environment. We should have a development environment for Power BI, and other one like a Power BI environment. Both the things we need to set up before getting into our implementation. So I'll show you is like we will see that in that demo. The next one, PBI embedded, which we said like two ways, right? One like you can expose to the external, and other one like you can embed that into the organizations. So embed to your organization, there is like a different, right? Embedding to your customer, it's going to be the one user. So whatever the user access roles you are defining with Power BI, that's what for everybody. So application owns the data. Application uses your master key user and it takes that roles and it owns the data for the customer. And the second one, user owns the data. This is what what we had earlier also, right? So based on the roles of the user, for example, senior management person, they'll see a different view. They won't be like seeing the granular report, what's happening in the unit every day or something. He might be wanted to know monthly what's happening it, right? And the yearly, and up to like top level people, they want to see like a quarter wise, Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, what happened. So where it went down and what can be improved, everything they will take a quarter wise plans. So based on the roles of the users, it will vary. So that is where like user owns the data. That means like the logged in person's role defines the data access actually. So that way we would have been build the report actually. So senior roles we have to assign and we need to build a report based on that. So user owns the data. Here the view will differ based on the logged in person. Will be a limited user. Admin will have everything and management will have some kind of information. Same report, it will be divided into roles. Okay, so that's where like detailed like steps we have given here. So how like the Power BI been connected? If a person, the first one, right? If app connects the data, what's happening in the architecture, and if user connects the data, Power BI, what's happening it here? So the first one, like it's like Azure AD. We are going to see, we are going to register an application with Azure AD. So that's why I'm just saying native application here. Once the user connects to that report, right? The very first of that native application, it sends the it connects with Azure AD. I'm not going into detail. So it connects to the Azure AD and it validates and it gets the proper token. Once it's validated, right? The next step, Azure token endpoint, we will be registering endpoint to that. So we will be getting access to that endpoint. Then we are connecting the with the token, we are connecting the Power BI. So and browser will keep refresh it, you know, like it's a browser based, right? It will refresh it. If the token expired, again the similar process will continue. Okay, this is how like app owns data happens. So basically, application is like dedicated permissions. If you select dedicated permissions, right? So application connects to the Power BI here. So in the other case, when the user, right, user owns the data directly, the user connects to the applications, whatever, wherever we hosted. Okay, he gets his, he logs in with his token because already he's AAD, Azure AD authorized user. So he connects with Azure AD, gets his token for the resource accessing. He will be having the Power BI license will be added, right? So he will have the access to the resource. Then he gets into the Power BI with the token. Similar, like if the redirection URL only going to decide which application, which Power BI he is going to connect, right? So that's where he goes in with ID token and auth token. He goes to the Power BI, gets the report and everything happening. The BP calls, everything happening. He'll get the report back. So basically, he is like directly his code, his token and authentication code been evaluated in the Power BI reports. So here it's like intermediate. We have the applications. So each will like just pass his own details to AD and Power BI platform. Yeah, this is a high level thing. And you'll be sharing the deck. You can go over the step by step. So, okay. So we have seen two things, right? So in the two way embedded can be implemented. One is like for organization, other one is for the customers. Customers one, which we are going to see in the hands-on. Okay, first one, like if you want to embed to the organization, so what we need to do, this is the 5 step we have to do. So I'll just discuss it verbally, and the second one we can see in detail. So first you need to register your application to Azure AD, your Power BI, right? Power BI application, you have to like register to the Azure AD and you need to create the Power BI workspace fast. Assuming that you will create and publish the report from Power BI desktop to Power BI desktop and publish it to the workspace. So generally, you know, like all the reports will be collected under the workspace. So you need to create a workspace, then you can publishing, you can start uploading your PBTX and Power BI dataset and reports. Once it's done, we need like a few embedding parameters, means like that app ID and Azure AD client ID, service principal. So we need few embedded parameter values. So that we need to get it from here and space ID and everything. Then directly you can use that thing. We can develop application and that embed that application to your code. Okay, this is the one which we are going into detail. Probably I'll cover in demo one by one. The extra step here is like the master user creation, right? Only one account. That's the one thing extra here. Service principal is applicable for that. Master user, we need to create it and we need to give him a Power BI. We have to issue him a Power BI license. Then like it follows in the same way, like only the way it changes, implementation way it changes. Okay. So these are the 4 things we are going to see in the demo. First one is like embedded setup. The step 1 and step 2 in my earlier slide, right? That development environment and how to set up your Power BI environment. Those 2 steps. That's the one. How to set up an embedded, like that's the first one. And then embedded service in the Azure, how it is there. And the third one, embedded playground. From like a JavaScript, REST API can be accessed through JavaScripts also, right? So like without any license or anything, if you want to explore about Java, REST APIs, how it works, reporting options, you want to get handle on this Power BI thing, you can use this embedded playground, no license, no cost on it. And then the last one is like we are going to see the demo of browser-based .NET applications, which is like a browser, which will consume a workspace and report and display in our .NET thing pages. Okay, let me go to. After the demo, we'll be talking about capacity, pricing, and use cases. Embedded setup. Okay. This can be done through the PowerShell script or any script, right? You can do that. But I'm just using, there is like a wonderful UI base they have given. So I'm just using this one. So from here, you can set your environment, like which one you wanted to go ahead with. Do you want to like embed for your customer or embed for your organizations? Okay. And before that, I would like you might be knowing app.powerbi.com. If you have a license, like if you have O365 license, you can go and see this dashboard. And if you have a pro access, you can see more options. Okay, this is the dashboard. Basically, like in the Power BI, I'm not going to talk about more Power BI features or icons here and something. So the workspace is the major one we are going to consider in our demo here, right? So workspace is the space like where everything been holded for specific. You can group it something. So here, demo embedded analytics is the workspace. I just created here. You can see the reports, data sheet, dashboards been there. Okay, I just want to tell you what it is workspace. Probably we need to give a workspace name when we are creating the embedding solutions. So I'm just clicking on embed for organizations. That means like we are creating a embed for organizations. That means like all the users will have a license for them. That's the case here. If you want to create embed for customers, click on this. I'm just clicking embed for customers, and then like a step by step. And you can try with your pro trial. It's like 60 days. This one is signed into Power BI. So already I have a Power BI account, so it's already been signed it. Otherwise, it will ask like prompt you for login. So you need to give your login for that. And then step 2, register your application. So first I'm giving, yeah, this is done. Application name. So how you wanted to identify your application in Azure. So basically when we are creating the embed, it's getting like it's going to be in Azure as well. So give a name. To differentiate it is I'm giving like Azure here. The first one you give application name for Azure. Then next. So what is the permissions you are giving to the application? Means Azure app, the register, what are the app you are registering with the Azure, right? What are the different access it can have with your Power BI app, dashboard, reports or whatever, right? What are the different access it can have? So you can see, you can select everything, or you can, if you want to give only the read access, just to give a read access. If you want to give some read and write operations, if you want to get some feedback from them or some options they have to do and submit it, give a read and write operation based on that, like your need. Okay, once it's done, you just register it. Like you are registering application with the API access. So Power BI, what are all the access that app can have. So when we are authenticating with the app, these are all the permissions will be applied to the user. And the next one is like a workspace. When we came to like Azure part is done. Now we are creating a workspace in Power BI. You can give a workspace name here. Okay. The next step is like a, so it's like a user friendly driven messages. You can read and do everything. Like two things, import content. If you have already reports are all been built and it is readily available, you can use this upload pbtx file, or like Microsoft itself is giving some sample Power BI reports. So you want to use that, like by using those template reports, as you want to know what it is, you want to go in detail, you can explore everything, then you can start building your own, right? To start with, you can import the sample Power BI reports, so you'll be knowing end to end how it works and everything without sweating more. Yeah, just import it. So all the sample Power BI reports will be imported to your workspace now, and then you are giving a permission. So actually, I logged in as an admin here. I can give a grant permissions, but this step will be like access specific things, right? So if non-admin people, if I have a master user and user using a service principal, go with like a grant permission. So I'm just giving the permission for my app and all the access. Okay, accepted. So whatever the permission we selected, it will be applied to that application now. So it's a very important thing. We came to a summary board where we need all this information for our application. Application ID, workspace ID, and the report ID. Okay, you just make a note of everything. This is what we are going to use in our code, which I mentioned like we need like a few embedded parameters, right? This is like a important parameters. So you just make a note of it. You can copy and paste it here. Let me put it. When I go to the application, I'll show you like how we are using it there. Okay, so this is done. And the next one, we can go to the Azure. Okay, to start with Azure, right? Okay, let me go with the app registration one first. Like first, you should be having the Active Directory installed. First step, I just want to. You might be knowing it. I just want to tell you, the account whatever we added to the Power BI one, right? He should be like a part of the AD user. So yes, you can just it's already admin account, so it's already there. If not, the user, whatever the new user, like you are going to use it for Power BI, right? You just create a new user, that master key user or something. You can create it. Like that's the one account we are going to use it. Ensure that the user exists in your Azure AD. And the next one, I'm going to the like app registration. So we created a dashboard. The next one, that the application needs to be registered in your Azure. So when we created, we gave a app, right? You might be seeing that here automatically, like it created for Azure. So Azure BI demo, sorry, Power BI demo Azure, which we created now. Okay, this is the app. It's been created and registered because we gave it, it registered, but still we need to do a couple of steps actually. One second. Okay. So this is the important thing. You can like copy and paste it. Application ID, we will be using it. Then come to the API permission. Okay. Yeah. You have like all the permissions already been granted. we gave authentications, right? So almost like all the permission it's been given with dedicated things that's done. Just in the case if you are using a new user account, right? For example, in the case like key user, you need to create a user, and then that user we need to we need to go to the Power BI, and we need to give them the workspace access. The new dashboard is not. Let me refresh it. So this is a new dashboard. Because it's like I'm working in the admin account, I'm not giving any access. But if you are having a user, right, you need to go and you can give up user, you can give access to them. Yeah. You can give them the access here. And you have like a data set wise, report wise, you can manage the security. Any level, like however you wanted to, entire workspace you can give them access, or like a dashboard wise you can give access. You up to like a report level you can control the access for that user. So here like it's a same account I'm using in Azure AD as well as the Power BI account, right? It's automatically it's mapped. Otherwise go ahead and give the access. And all this reference links are there step by step how you can do, right? Already I added in the last like slide. You can go over step by step. Even if this looks like jumping here and there, but you have like a step by steps in the reference links. Interest of time, like I'm just already it's there, so I'm just going over. So here are delegate permission there. If it is not there, you will be providing the permission. So you will be like adding the permission here. So already it's there. So we are good with here. Fine. One more thing, like we need to give a reply URL. Come to you. API permissions. It's done. So certificate and secrets for the other cases, right? We need this service principal. If you are using, you need to like create a new client secret for that. Create a new client secret and get the secret ID. This is for like the second case when you are like embedding the report for your organization, right? Then you need to generate the client secret. So if you are like interacting with the, if you are building a report for a customer, you need a app ID and secret. If you are going with this customer base, right, outside of your organization, you need like your master user, like a master key and their secret. Application ID is enough. You don't need to have a secret for that. Okay. So we are done with the Azure now. So we are ready. This Power BI environment been set up now. For the first step is done. So this is the main thing. Like you need to have this details, dashboards, application ID, workspace ID, report and everything too before getting into a development thing. This is how you are setting up your embedded environment. And the next one we saw that embedded service, right? Portal.azure.com. That is like we just registered an app. The next one we need to create a Power BI service, right? That's the one here. Let me go to a Azure portal and I'll show you that. So if you need to create a Power BI embedded service, go to your portal and the Power BI embedded. So now I'm creating a new Power BI embedded instance. Create the new. Okay, so select your subscriptions and the resource group we want to keep it. And this is the resource name, the Power BI embedded name. I'm just using Power BI demo embedded app. And the location is like a very important. For example, like if you have your report server and all your other resources are in the same place, like for example, in my case, it's a East US. If it is in the East US, do select that embed also like East US. You know, right? There's the injuries like the amount that data infrastructure data goes out and it comes in, right? It costs more. You know that Microsoft pricing tier, right? So based on the data transfer between infrastructure, your cost will be more. So like keep it in the same location. That helps and that will reduce your cost. But that doesn't mean that like it supports multi-geo also. So it supports it. And the size, this is where the capacity comes. I'm just going with the default A1. When we are touching up the capacity topic, we'll discuss more about it. And the administrator, and these are all the two things. Embedded generation one was like one, the preview one with the additional few extra things. They introduced this new feature one, gen 2. It was having space and letters caps. The next, the important thing, it like whenever you create any Azure resource, like it's a best practice, like start like tagging something, so you can group your resources based on that. PBI. You can add other like we are creating it for R&D unit, R&D. So whatever, like the tags you can give it to it. And the next step is like the service is ready. You are creating it. So now the Power BI embedded service is also ready. We have a workspace ready, but still the report needs to be like created and published to the workspace. We have other details now set it up. Now I'm going to an enterprise application where the application and the AAD has to connect, right? Yep, this is your application. See, you can assign all the users and everything. I'm just here like only one, right? I'm just leaving as it is. Okay, we are good with that. So already I created one more application, demo analytics, which already been like we use those tokens and everything and set it up in Visual Studio, which we'll see that. And this is the second one. Third one is like the embedded playground. Embedded playground is online too. Like you can go and explore what are the different options we have. Already I have opened it. Okay, so this is a URL. Like this is purely the REST API. So whatever like Power BI exposed REST API, right? It can be leveraged through JavaScript libraries also. So if you have a web page directly, like you can go ahead and take this. You can write the code and you can paste it in your application. But if you don't have any web pages, don't have any access to anything, right? You don't have a license, you don't have like any web pages to explore those scripts and something. Still, you have a B. This is like a complete end-to-end playground through the JavaScript libraries. It works. So all the options they gave, what are the different options we can play around with, right? They have given. To understand better, right? Take some samples here, try it out, how it works. After that, like you can build something custom and you can try it here. One that has worked, you can use it for your like SharePoint kind of like client-side applications. Try it. So you have two, embedded token, AAD token. And this is another term actually. Embedded token is nothing but the application token used for customers. AAD token, it's a token used for your enterprise organization. So embedded, always remember two types we have. One is like inside the organization means we are leveraging the existing license. And the second one, we are using one license and we are exposing that through application. So that is like embed token, the simplest like term. Embed token means embedded for customers. Okay, this is the sample. So once you have a embed user created, right, you can use those embed token URL and everything. So right now you can leave as it is. If you have, you can try with your own values here. If you change to AAD, okay, it doesn't. This report doesn't support the AAD thing. And you can see like what are the properties they have. Let me take the other one. It had like you will have like more operations. View only, view and edit. So many operations options you can see with this tool. So once like you can get the exact thing, right? You can run this report. It's already been built, so you'll be running it. You can see how it works. Right?
I might.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt 5 more minutes. Yeah.
Okay. So you just copy this. So the scripts are ready here. You can copy and paste it into the any HTML pages and you can go ahead. Okay, let me complete the hands-on one. Okay. Okay, to start with like right, even the embed it has like a sample applications. You can download the sample application here. That's like a very good quick starter. You can download the sample application and then once you download this applications, right, then the few things you need to do with the sample applications, right, go to web.config, web.config, give you a tenant ID and workspace ID, whatever there in the screen, right? Application ID, workspace ID, and report ID. So all three things are important here. And then this is like a key user username and password you have to give. These are all the informations, whatever you copied from the dashboard, right? Embedded setup, you have to use it here. That's it, like you can directly use the applications. I thought of like giving the overall view. Sorry, I didn't do a checker time one. This should be in our reply URL in Azure already. So basically this .NET applications connects the Power BI which we created and it is going to access the dashboard, report and workspace. The similar way, like you can create a report and import into Power BI. You can just take the ID from there. Meanwhile, it loads, like I'll tell you like how you can capture the IDs. For example, if I want to use the US analysis one, right? Click on the report. So this is the dashboard ID. And the next is this is the report ID, which you have to copy. This is what we need to give it, like dashboard ID, workspace ID, and report ID. If you have a report, you can go and get it in the URL also. Okay. Simple .NET application where you can embed a report and dashboard. So first one, I'm just clicking on a report, the first report, which is we built for COVID one. So now all the process, that authentication, token, and going back to the Power BI Pro and getting, it's getting and embedding the resource report here. So advantage is like only one license we are using and we can expose this embed in our applications. Everybody else can use it. Yeah, this like code is like self-explainable. You can refer my links also step by step. It is there, and sample reports also. How you can import the reports into Power BI. Everything has been added in the deck. That will like give you the complete review. And the final touch is like capacity in Azure portal, right? They came up with a capacity model. Start with like A1. It's like a $1 per hour, right? Then later on, it like a especially embed is like based on like a render based. How many renders it's happening, right? Based on that, the price will be calculated. If you are going with the basic A1, it supports 300 renders. That's all. It's not like a user render based license. So you can get that details. I added it here. So this is the different capacities, cores and SKUs used, and the pricing is there. I'm just wrapping it up. And the link, whatever I added here, is a price calculator. We have like a Power BI price calculator. You can go ahead and see how that price is getting calculated. Yeah, and the main thing is like you have a 3 learning platform here. You can get started with Power BI, or you can become a data analyst. That's a different learning path, and you can develop the applications for Power Platform. So these are the 3 different learning pathways we have with Power BI. I'm just wrapping it up. Just any questions? Sorry for a late by minute. Didn't get it.
No, Maithili, we are clear.
Okay, thanks everyone then. Thanks to the organizer and event sponsors. And take a quick survey.